Good morning, guys. So, I have a little surprise for you guys. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you already know what it is. I'm stepping up my game for you guys. I got this bad boy. Canon M50, 4K video, replaceable lenses, super fast focusing. I am super excited to get into using this thing, figure out how to make it the best quality that I can make it for you guys. That way, we can do a lot more cool stuff. So I think being able to step up my quality game is going to really help with the videos. You guys will be able to see a little bit better. I'm going to get an external mic for this thing. That way, we can hone in on the sound a little bit. No more of this crazy blasted sound. So let's start using it. Alright guys, so we got done here in the shop. We do have a few things we need to do today. One of them is getting line lock installed on the Lexus. We're waiting on FedEx to deliver the parts. Hopefully they show up. We're going to go ahead and start pulling the lights off the car, and that way we can clean up all that mess and start working towards getting some other stuff done. Alright, so what the heck is line lock? Line lock basically is a solenoid that you pump the brakes up, you hit the button, and it holds the fluid from coming back into the master cylinder. That way, it holds the front brakes on. Big burnouts, lots of smoke, and you don't overheat your back brakes. So that's going to be one thing we're doing here today, and try to get a game plan of some of the other things we need to do over the next couple weeks. So let's get to it. Alrighty, got all the lights out of the car, got the power inverter out of the car. I guess all that's left is getting the tail out. Alright guys, so my little pro tip on stuff like these guys, you remember me putting those on? If you stick them to your shirt, the little fibers on your shirt will come off on the stick, and will make it a lot easier to take off without taking off paint or your wrap or needing to gouge underneath them. It literally just popped right off. So if you don't want something like this to be permanent, stick it to your shirt, then stick it down. Remember, it won't be permanent. It will very easily come off. So if you're trying to keep something on for some sort of speed or anything like that, don't do that. Works for stickers as well. So if you're trying to do something for just one event or something like that, and you need to put like a sponsor sticker on and it's going to be coming back off, stick it to your shirt, apply it. It will stay on there for your event, no problem, but it will come back off much easier. No scraping or anything like that. So, pro tip. Yeah, so we're waiting for FedEx still, but I'm going to start looking into this dude. Look at the size of this for. I was super worried because originally I ordered this thing for just the oil cooler, and apparently I was a little ambitious on size. So
that is impressive.
Isn't that thing's freaking giant? Look. Massive. So do your homework, boys and girls, because if you don't measure and you just guess, hey, this big boy is going to be the jam. Yes, it's going to be the jam, but
that's impressive.
Where the hell am I supposed to put this thing for an oil cooler? So the plan is to mount this Johnny right here on the back of the new intercooler core, and maybe 2/3 of it is going to be the oil cooler, and it's going to be dual pass, so in and out, and then the other part of it is going to be a smaller section, so it'll be the power steering pool. So it'll be dual pass as well, in and out. And I'm actually going to put a little, one of the rows is actually going to be left open so that it will draw air through.
And also won't heat transfer the one oil.
Exactly, because that's the big thing that I was worried about. I was like, okay, so if I do a dual cooler, how do I keep it from just heat soaking each other to where it's just whatever? So then it'll actually have, I'll probably end up with it right in the middle, just because this thing is so damn big. But That way, everything's out of the way. Like if something impacts over here,
Exactly.
I don't have to worry about it crushing the or the oil cooler again, because it did that at Road Atlanta. And then I'll have temperature sensors to see the ins and the outs, and I'm also going to do check valves so that the oil, when it flows in, it gets trapped up in here, so that you don't have to like worry about the oil flowing backwards into the oil pump, and then you have to wait for oil pressure when you go to start it. So it'll automatically already have oil pressure up in here, and then I'm actually going to do probably a filter, I think, on the outlets for both, because I don't even have a filter for my power steering.
They usually always just had a little strainer socket.
Yeah, I don't have that in there. So that's going to be this deal. Pretty cool. I mean,
Fan mounted?
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to shroud it, and then what I'll probably have is that fan will also draw through the intercooler. So as soon as the oil cooler, where the oil gets above temperature, the fan will kick on thanks to the ECU. I don't have to worry about flipping a switch or anything.
Thanks, Hal.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Altec. So that way, it just goes ahead and it'll pull air through the intercooler as well. So if the intercooler is starting to get heat soaked, it'll automatically kick the fan on. I could probably set it up to where if the air temperature got above a certain thing, it would click the fan on, or if the oil temperature was above it. I'd have to look. I don't know how many parameters I can actually
The
mess with.
the tunability of this is pretty slick.
Yeah, so that's the thought process.
That's a
behind
mighty
it.
core.
That's big. It might be too much.
I'm kind of
but-
excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah, I am too. I'm going to get a lot of data and everything. So
Nice.
that's one of the projects I've been talking about.
Thanks, Vibrant.
All right, Dad came in with the goods as usual, taking care of me. Jeg showed up, or FedEx showed up. We have a line lock solenoid, so we are going to basically just interrupt where the master cylinder normally would pump directly to the two front brakes. It's now going to go through this right here, and it will keep it from coming back. So it'll hold the front brakes on right here. That's going to be good. We just got to make one new line from the master cylinder to the T that goes to the two different calipers, and put this guy in line. So we'll mount it, and then obviously you've got to wire it up. It's going to have a button and a light and stuff like that. So power, ground, just a solenoid. Pretty simple. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do is, we've got some fittings here. I just need to get this guy mounted. I've got a spot on the shock tower that I think I'm going to use. So it'll just kind of sit in here like this. And then I've got a couple different soft lines. I've got this guy that I ended up buying for my hydro setup and then never used. It's actually the perfect length to come from the master cylinder over to here with the 90-degree fitting out of here. And I've got this old line that I had. I just need to clean it all out. That as long as I put this fitting in here, it'll go right into there and then straight over to the T that is already installed. I'm gonna go try to find another one of these 90s. I do have one somewhere, I'm sure. I just have to find it. All right, guys, we found one. I knew I had one. It was in one of my other little random stashes of fittings and stuff from my old hydro setup. We're gonna go ahead and get that installed. You can see I went ahead and bolted the solenoid down. Look at that big Jeg sticker, that's gotta go. So that guy is gonna come out of here. This line's gonna go right into that. This line I've already got kind of in there. I put a bolt in this. It clears the hood, I think. So we'll get this guy installed, get these lines run, and then what I'll do is we will just get everything tight up to here, and then go ahead and bleed the brakes up to here first, and then hook this one up after we, heck, I might just bleed it all the way through this line. I'm not sure. We're going to bleed the brakes. So I'm going to get this guy installed, and we're going to go from there. All right, so the brakes are bled. We just need to hook up the electronic side of things. So just a power and a ground through a button, and that snaps the solenoid shut. That way it holds the brakes on. Then, burnouts. Very simple. And so basically what you do, you use a battery power or a switched battery, so the key on power, going to a fuse, through a button, through a light, out here to the solenoid, and then the solenoid gets grounded out here. Alright guys, so we got the solenoid installed. I got it wired up. I just grounded it right at the bolt where we're mounting it. That should work fine. It's kind of a temporary thing. I'm not really loving the way this thing looks. But we did get the sticker off of it, so I've currently got it set to a momentary switch on my little arc panel. For when we do the gender reveal, I can actually switch the function and actually have it be an on-off function, so I can just turn it on and row gears. So that's going to be pretty fun. It's going to make life a lot easier. I'm not having to like do a bunch of fancy footwork, and the back brakes aren't going to be glowing and everything like that. The brakes still function like normal until I hit the button. As soon as I hit the button, it actually locks the fluid in its current position. So even if you do like a very light press on the brake pedal, it will like lightly hold the brakes. So we'll have to play a little bit. If we want to just lock it in place and just row gears, you know, you pump the brakes up really good, you grab the button, and you hold the button until you like want to start moving. So you can do as long of a burnout or until you pop the tires or whatever, or if you want to get the tires rolling and then release the button, you will start to roll forward because it just releases the brake fluid from the calipers. So line lock is in. We have some success. All right guys, so I went to pull the car out and it had a little leak. Dad came down here and we did a little troubleshooting. We did get it figured out. It was basically a line wasn't really seated perfectly straight, but taking that time kind of soaked up the time that I have today. So I'm sorry, no burnout, at least with the line lock. I will throw some sort of burnout video in right here. Everybody loves burnouts, but I really hope you enjoyed the content today. It is a little bit different as far as we finally got to do some installation stuff. We talked through one of the plans as far as for the dual cooler that I'm planning to make for this thing with my Vibrant Performance 12 by 12 by 2 core. It's a big core. So smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you haven't yet, I don't know what you're doing. Make sure that you are getting on this train because we are rolling out of the station. I'm really enjoying doing this stuff. This new camera is badass. I absolutely love it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.